We're at 65 degrees already at 8:10. Good morning. We are Wall Radio, and we've got a guest in the studio. Welcome to Andrew Farrell of Orange and Rockland Utilities. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
So Andrew is the section manager of O&R's Electric Vehicle Market Development Group. That is such a long title. Do you need two business cards to fit that whole title on?
Well, we actually have a New York and New Jersey utility, so I do have two business cards for each.
Oh, see, look at that. Look at that. So electric vehicles, fully electric. You hear so many things. I'm sure you hear even more than I do. People say, you know, if every house on the street has an electric vehicle, the whole street's going to suck all the power out, and we're not going to have enough power for anybody else to have the lights on. You're here today to tell us the truth about electric vehicles, as Orange and Rockland has been studying them for a while.
That's right.
So, tell me first, what kind of vehicle do you drive?
I drive the Ford Mach-E, and it is just it's a sleek, cool, and powerful vehicle. And I can share the things that I love about it are true generally about all electric vehicles. So I'll share four things that I love about it is that they're easy to maintain. So what specifically, there's no oil changes, there's no transmission, there's no exhaust system, there's no turbines, so it's easy to maintain. On the cost side, when you look at the total cost to own and operate an electric vehicle, especially with gas prices today, it's far less expensive. The third thing is that it's environmentally friendly. You know, when you're driving an electric vehicle around, you have this sense that you're a part of the solution. You're not emitting carcinogens into the air that, you know, your family and the community at large in our area breathe.
Just one car, you think, well, you know, it's just one car. But there were so many millions of cars. Yes, they are emitting many pollutants into the atmosphere. And electric vehicles, I guess, may be the solution to that. But I don't know anything really. I don't know enough to make an intelligent decision yet. But I'm going to have to figure that you do. So tell me what you've learned.
So personally, owning an electric vehicle is just, it's a lot of fun. They're powerful vehicles, and you feel like you're part of the solution when you're driving them, because one of the most common myths that we do here, and maybe that was what you were just talking about, is that some people think that driving an electric vehicle is the same pollution-wise as driving a gasoline vehicle.
Because the electricity has to be made at a place that may emit some pollutants, I guess.
Exactly. And so when you look at New York State, if you look 30 years ago, the pounds of CO2 emitted per generation of electricity, it was about at 1 pound. Today, it's at half a pound, so it's decreased by 50%. And by the near future here, by 2030 and 2040, it'll be 100% clean. And so even
100% clean electricity?
100% clean. That's New York State's policy goal.
Wow.
And it's not just the policy goal. They've developed a plan, and they're on track. They're working that plan to achieve that goal.
Wow. So how long have you been driving a fully electric vehicle?
Fully electric, about a year and a half now.
Okay. So now, you have to plug it in every night at home to charge it up?
I don't. I usually do just as a matter of habit. But I usually, because my commute is fairly average, 30 miles a round trip a day, I plug it in about once a week. I would need to plug it in about once a week.
Okay. And once you plug it in, how many miles do you get on average on that charge?
Absolutely. So my vehicle right now, it's 200 miles, and it's on any given day.
Wow. So 200 miles, that's almost a tank of gas for me. I get, 280, something like that. So you could drive for almost a week or close to that.
Exactly.
Wow. So, all right, I have to ask. When I plug in my phone and it charges to 100%, But after a while, it charges to 100%, and 100% isn't as much of a charge as it used to be. The battery gets weaker, and at first 100% will let you talk for 3 or 4 days. And now I'm at the point where 100% will, but sometimes I have to plug it in during the day if I've used it a lot, plus overnight. And so the battery wears out and it doesn't take a full charge. 100% isn't as much as it was yesterday at 100%. I have to assume that on anything that recharges, a car is like that. Does the battery take less and less and give you less and less miles over time?
So the phone battery is lithium ion, the same as the battery. It's a lithium ion in an electric vehicle.
Okay.
But when you purchase an electric vehicle, the dealership will offer between an 8 to 10 year warranty, and you'll be warranted for that time to make sure that the battery doesn't degrade. And if it does degrade and you're waking up with a full charge but less miles, then
a full charge, but you can only go 4 miles. That would be a problem.
Exactly.
But that's not what happens.
It's covered under warranty if it degrades beyond, depending on the car manufacturer, 80 or 90%. So if your vehicle, when you bought it, it had 350 miles at a full charge. Mm-hmm. After 10 years, you could reasonably expect it to be at the 320 to 330 range.
Wow.
And if it was worse than that, then it would be covered under the warranty and replaced.
So I'm also the kind of person who drives a car forever. So if I have the car for 15 years and I have to buy a new battery after 15 years, how expensive is that? Do you know? I mean, the thing is, I'm asking you all these questions about the cars, but you're with Orange and Rockland Utilities. You are not with a car dealership. So I'm asking you questions because I'm curious, not because I want to pin you down with anything. So please be sure you know that.
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, we think of ourselves, we are like a trusted energy advisor. So we're just trying to empower our customers with this information for them to make the best decision for them. So the most straightforward answer, and I use my vehicle the same way. I ride it until it's salvaged and has to be towed to...
pretty much.
That's how I use it.
Until it becomes a Flintstones vehicle and your feet are popping out through the floor. And yes.
Yes, exactly. I'm the same way. And so electric vehicles have been around for about 10 years. So we look at that first generation set of vehicles that have been around that time period. And so what people are doing is you can either resell them, a salvage, or turn in your vehicle for a credit, or you can replace the battery. And the way to think of an electric vehicle is the battery is the entirety of the car.
It's the heart of the vehicle, sure.
Yes. So if
it's
you
the engine, really.
Exactly. And so if you replace the battery, you essentially have a brand new car. So the way to think of it is if you have to replace the battery in your EV and it costs, 40-50% of what a new vehicle would cost, you essentially have a new vehicle now that you've replaced the battery. And the good news is that all of the manufacturers that are coming out with EVs here, they're getting better, they're getting more cost efficient at this replacement, as well as the cost of the battery itself has come down over 90% in the last 10 years.
Okay. So I have so many questions. I thank you for patiently figuring out as much as you can and answering everything. I really appreciate you being here today, but we need to take a quick break. We'll be right back. We're talking about electric vehicles with Andrew Farrell of Orange and Rockland Utilities. We'll be right back on Wall. It's 8:21 at Wall Radio. With me in the studio, Andrew Farrell from Orange and Rockland Utilities. So if you buy an electric vehicle and you just want to, plug it in at home, can you just plug it in at home, or what do you have to do to make it go?
You can plug it into a normal outlet, the same as you plug a refrigerator into, but most folks will opt for what is called a level 2 charger. And so you can think of that type of outlet the same as you would think of an electric dryer or an electric stove. So
okay. All right.
Same outlet that you would use for those appliances.
And how much would my electric bill go up if I drove, an average of a couple hundred miles a week?
So the general rule of thumb we have is it would cost half as much as in your incremental electricity as it does today at the gas station. But with gas prices today, that was based off of a $2.50, $3 gas price. So with gas prices today, you save about 80%.
Wow. 80% savings on your fuel costs if you go electric. How much more does the vehicle cost, the initial purchase price?
So there's definitely a range of upfront costs depending on the vehicle itself. On the lower end, dependable end of vehicles, the Nissan Leaf is under $30,000, and with rebates you can get it on the low end of in the low 20s. But then if you were to think like a Tesla, like the most popular selling EV in our area was a Tesla Model Y, that's up in the $65,000 range.
Whimper.
Yes.
Okay. All right. You're so knowledgeable about all of these, and you're with the utilities. So, all right. Now, what are the myths that you would like to bust? What are the things that people say that you want to be sure they know to be reassured about electric vehicles?
The most common thing I hear is people are worried about having to go to a charging station and be there for, an hour, 2 hours in order to fill it.
I'd wonder about that. Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I think the mindset here is that we all have kind of generational experience with gasoline vehicles. So we're used to running low on, fuel and then going to a gas station. But for folks with access to at-home charging, you're going to wake up every day with 200, 350 miles. So for your normal commute, for folks with access, you're not going to need to fill up. You're going to wake up with a full tank. For folks without access to at-home charging, or for longer commutes, 150, 200 miles one way, or if you're going on vacation, that's when public charging infrastructure is key. And Orange and Rockland is actually right now delivering a program, the Orange and Rockland Power Ready program, to proliferate access to public chargers.
I know. I saw in the parking lot near the emergency room at Garnet Health that you had charging stations, or they have a row of charging stations there. So what, you put your credit card in, plug in your car, and how long does it take for your car to be fully charged usually?
Exactly. That's how you do it. You put your credit card in, or you can use an app with your phone. And for a typical EV that's looking to get a full charge, you can expect to get 30 to 40 miles in about an hour and a half. And
okay.
Garnet Hospital, they put in through our Power Ready program 40 plugs, in addition to about another 10 plugs they had at the hospital. Also in Orange County, we just had Legoland complete and energized 10 plugs there as well. So if you go to Legoland, look out for those.
Okay. Oh, that would be fun. And now, someone said that when you open the hood of an electric vehicle and you want to see the engine inside, what does it look like?
There's nothing there. So we have ride and drive events, and we're actually having one come up September 23rd and 24th, where customers can come and test drive an array of electric vehicles, and we'll be having that at Blue Hill Plaza on the 23rd and 24th of September. And it's the number one thing that people enjoy seeing if they've never had exposure to an EV before, is you pop the hood and there's nothing there.
Nothing.
Nothing. We put little tchotchkes in there to give away to people because it's fun.
Okay. So, you could put a stuffed animal in there, or something like that, or use it as a secondary trunk.
Yes, that's the practical application for an EV owners. You can put your groceries in there or some other
I'm amazed.
Cargo.
I'm amazed. Okay. That's neat. This all sounds so doable. What other misconceptions do you want to explain away and dispel for people? Is there anything else?
The main thing that I would love people to know is so my background is I have a background in physics, and I worked at the Lamont Doherty Earth Institute in Orange and Rockland territory. Mm-hmm. And the electric vehicles don't emit carcinogens into our air, right? We talk often about carbon, and that's a big benefit of EVs, but carbon is light, so it kind of averages over a large area. The carcinogens that come out of gasoline vehicles are heavy, so they stay where they're emitted. So when our community has an opportunity now through the Power Ready program and through other programs to adopt EVs, and it's our community that will benefit from that cleaner air. You look at places like California with high EV adoption and the rates of childhood asthma, and you're starting to see the rates of lung cancer are just plummeting, and that's a benefit I'm excited for Orange County to materialize.
Yes. Well, I have heard that dealers, car manufacturers, are being told by the government that you're going to make electric vehicles by I don't remember which year, and people say, "Oh no, they're going to ruin everything," but you have to trust that mandate came through after much study, after much investigation, and after learning that electric vehicles, from the sound of what you're saying, are for real and can work and can make a difference.
Absolutely. And most of these manufacturers now, they're all putting these goals out there because they want to, because they see a vision where this is the future, and they're excited about it. We can reasonably expect that the next generation of electric vehicles will continue to increase in range and decrease in cost. And so there's a near-term future where the cost is materially less. And if you wake up every day with 400, 500, 600 miles in your car, unless you're driving to Florida, which I've done, and I don't recommend doing in one shot, the 600 miles will get you what you need in a day.
Okay. This is magnificent. Thank you so much. Can people find out more on O&R's website, or where can they go to learn more?
Yes, absolutely. oru.com/EV is our landing page for all of our commercial and residential programs. So please, anyone who has an EV and they're thinking about an EV, log on there, and we can get in touch as well through that website.
So, I keep thinking that we're really in the early days of electric vehicles, but that's not 100% true. They've been tested for a while. They are running now, and that is all that Orange and Rockland is purchasing for the smaller vehicles. You're still waiting for the trucks to come along, right?
That's right. Electric vehicles have been around for a little over 10 years, and as of last year, every new vehicle we purchase, light-duty vehicle, is an electric vehicle at Orange and Rockland. And the medium and heavy-duty, they're not available off the shelf, so to speak. You have to custom design them currently, and so that's what we're doing. We're engaged in a research and development. There's a near-term future here where all of our fleet, light, medium, and heavy-duty, will be electric.
Wow. Okay, I'm very impressed, and I thank you for coming in. And is it like driving just a car, or is it like driving a golf cart, or what?
It's, I'll tell you, for the Mustang Mach-E, it rides exactly like my '07 gasoline vehicle that I used to have.
Okay.
It picks up. It's a powerful vehicle. And anyone who's interested in test driving, so you can kind of see for yourself, to come on out and join us on September 23rd and 24th at Blue Hill Plaza.
We will put that on the wall board. That's an event that we want to let people know about. We will definitely talk about that. And I thank you so much for coming in. I am appreciative of you just letting people know it's not going to ruin the neighborhood. It's not going to ruin the environment. It's okay. And you've studied this. So yes, thank you very much. Well, Andrew is from Orange and Rockland Utilities. You can learn more, as he said, at oru/ev.com.
oru.com/EV.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, /EV. All right, thank you. Glad to have you here on Wall Radio today. Are they absolutely silent?
Yes, they actually have a feature where you can make sound. So it's because if you're in a parking lot, then people can still hear you coming, but they don't naturally.
I was just thinking, when I was a kid, we used to play in the street because it was a very quiet street, but not as quiet as some of these vehicles now.
Yes.
And yeah, okay. Thank you. My childhood also thanks you for that, Andrew. Glad to have you on Wall Radio. We do have to stop for a news update now. It's 8:31.